good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Monday night. We are back with another episode of Comedy Doctors, the show where you send us your gripes, your pet peeves, your problems, and we give you terrible, ridiculously funny advice. I am your host, Frank Licari. Appreciate you joining us again. We have a great show. We got an East Coast show tonight. Some East Coast comics with us tonight. I'm East Coast. We're all East Coast. It's going to be a lot of testosterone on the show tonight. Very exciting. But before we get to that, I'd like to always explain to you what we're doing here. So this is your chance. We've all been cooped up for like going on 9 months. Feels like 3 years. But you got problems. You got any issues. You got things that are really nagging at you. This is the place to put them. Put them here in the comment sections. Email them to us. Put them in the Facebook, YouTube comments. Don't tell your friends. Don't tell your family. You risk losing relationships. Give them to us. We'll take care of you, make you feel better. Hopefully, we'll make you laugh. Hope everybody's doing good out there. Let's introduce who's on the show tonight. Our first guest tonight, you've seen him in Chelsea lately on the Greg Gutfield Show, Gotham Comedy Live, Red X. Please welcome Joe DeVito. What's up, Joe?
Hi. Hey,
how you doing, man?
Frank? Good to see you.
What's up? Good to see you, man. What's happening? What are you doing, Joe, in this crazy time that we're in? What's going on? How you spending time these days?
Well, I'm excited for this show. I noticed you said there's a lot of testosterone. Unfortunately, it's testosterone replacement testosterone.
That's right.
We all have a doctor's prescription at our ages. What am I doing during the pandemic? I have decided to use this time for personal growth, for reading, for exercising. That got me through the first 10 days, and I've just been hiding under a blanket mostly since then.
Yeah, I know. It's been like the New Year's resolutions, right? You're like, okay. I had a conversation with my brother about this. Like, man, what would you do in your life, right? Before this happened, if I said to you, you got 10 months, you're not working, you don't have any major things you got to leave the house for, what would you do in that 10 months? And the list goes on, and then it happens, and we don't really do anything.
We haven't done it well. You know, I tell people, turns out I don't have a book in me.
Right.
All these years, I thought if I just had that, I have not even read a book.
No, yeah, it's tough to get that motivated, but I tell you, once you get going, once you get motivated, it all sort of snowballs. You're going to be ripped. You're going to you have a couple novels done, a couple songs written.
I'm hoping.
Right?
Well, I did do the apartment is now home office. It's also home gym. It's home everything within this tiny little apartment. So it's good. It's kind of like being in prison without the chance of getting college credit.
Right. Or becoming a lawyer, because everybody who goes to prison seemingly becomes a lawyer. I don't know how that happens. But Joe, great to have you with us. Appreciate you being here. Let's be our next guest. You have seen our next guest in the Tonight Show. Comedy Central presents The Nanny, Half Baked. Gregg Rogell's with us.
Actually, technically, I wasn't in Half Baked. Both of my scenes were edited out, but if you look at the credits...
No.
I'll give you that.
You never, ever admit that. Nobody... Look, the amount of people that have actually seen Half Baked doesn't compare to the amount of people that will go, oh, wow, he was in Half Baked. They know the title. You never admit to being cut. Come on, man.
Well, yeah, the people who saw it all have short-term memory loss.
That's right. They're not going to remember anyway.
Not going to make a difference.
So what about you? What have you been doing during this crazy time? Trying to.
Truth is, I probably would have hung myself back in April, but I needed the rope to wipe my ass.
Right. That's a visual.
I've been just like everybody else. I'm in a holding pattern, just waiting for that vaccine, and I will be the first in line to take it. A lot of people are refusing to take it already. I don't understand that. I'm not going to let the government stick a needle in my... Are you fucking kidding me? I would let the government blow that fucking vaccine up my ass with a leaf blower at this point. I just want to get back to work.
So here's the funny part about what you just said.
Oh, sorry. Did I curse?
No, pre-show, I had a conversation with the comics, and I said, we're going to try to keep it low-key this show. Greg right out of the gate. Boom.
I need more than 5 minutes notice, not the curse. I need like a month of preparation. I'll do my best. I can't promise you anything. I really can't.
You do you. I don't want to get in the way of you, Greg. That was 3 in a row. Bam, bam, bam. Rapid fire. Sit tight. I got more questions. Let's meet our next guest. You've seen him in the movie Jesse, wannabe cop show, made in Chinatown. Please welcome Goumba Johnny Sialiano. That's a beautifully Italian name. And
it is.
Does it get bastardized a lot? Do you get people that just can't pronounce it?
Well, our real last name is Siciliano, but when they came over from Italy, they wrote it down incorrectly. And I used to go in the phone book, and I used to ask my father, I said, we're the only Salianos in the phone book. and I said, why is that? He goes, I don't know. Now it kind of blew my mind because my father was a Bronx detective, obviously not very good at deducing things.
It's not, yeah. And I got to correct you. If you're Italian now, and I don't want to get into a fight here, okay? But it wouldn't be, your name is not Siciliano, it would be Siciliano, right? You pronounce it with, okay. Yeah, just so we're clear.
Yeah. Yeah, we're from Taormina, Sicily.
Absolutely, been there. Beautiful town. Yeah, really nice. Well, okay. So 3 comics closed into their little, apartments, homes. Do you write a lot of comedy during this time? Are you finding the humor? Are we finding the humor?
I've got like 90 minutes on coronavirus, but the problem is so does every other comic, and we're all basically doing the same material, just different variations. So basically, once we all get the vaccine, the first guy out of the gates is just going to claim ownership. To all of this, like any mask joke at this point is pure hack. Any reference to shaving my head with a ball trimmer or going pantless on Zoom. These are like they're like old vaudeville jokes at this point. That's how long this pandemic has been going on.
Yeah, I think the first comic with a Netflix special is going to burn through all that material, and then it'll be over. Nobody's going to be able to do it. Absolutely. I wonder who that's going to
be. It's not a joke, but I found it funny. I had to get online. I waited 3 hours to get a COVID test just last week. And
how'd you do? Did you pass?
I know I was negative, but my biggest fear was getting COVID online. You know what I mean? And I'm standing there, and I'm like, if I don't have COVID, I'll probably have it by the time I get in there. I'm standing out here 3 hours with 100 people.
Yeah, that's my concern with the vaccine. Like, we're all going to be waiting online to get the vaccine, and we're all going to give each other. I wish there was a way they can just like make it into like an inhalant and just carpet bomb us
or do it mail it to us, right? They could mail us stuff. Could they mail it to every household?
Like a little do-it-yourself injection kind of
do-it-yourself kit? Yeah, why not? Here's the medication. You deal with it.
Well, it would be nice if you could smoke it.
There you go.
Yeah. How perfect would that be if we came out of this year and they tell us you need to vape? Vaping is the answer. You're going to vape your COVID vaccine. Yeah. I'm just going to wait until they inject it when they're stamping the number of the beast on the rest of our forehead. So I figured just get it all done, put my chip in, get me cleared to go out in public all in one fell swoop.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's another thing, too. People are afraid that Bill Gates is going to implant us all with microchips. At this point, I don't care. If some billionaire wants to watch me eat corn pops and masturbate, it's worth it at this point.
But aren't we already there with our cell phones and our cameras on the computers? They already can watch us.
We're all being tracked. And the truth is, a billionaire has better things to do than to follow my daily habits. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I can hire somebody to follow your daily habits.
Exactly. He can afford it. All right, guys, great to have you. Very excited. You guys ready to help some people?
Sure.
Let's do it. Let's get our first problem up on the board. Can we swing? There we go. Shelly from Short Hills, New Jersey, right down the street from me. My mom and I got into a huge fight over me going to the mall because of this damn virus? Question mark, I guess. Hello, I'm 25. Now she's not talking to me. Are your parents on your case too? Well, I doubt any of your parents are on your cases, guys. But what do you say to that? What do you say to Shelly, Joe?
That's interesting that you mentioned that, because when we first started to have the lockdowns, my parents live in a different state. Yep. I was ready to tell them you're grounded, because they would not stop going out. And I didn't realize that when you're a senior citizen, you fill up your day with 600 errands. So it was very hard to keep them inside. They, I was telling them, go to your room and turn that music down. I don't want to hear any more of that damn doo-wop. As far as what she should do for her mother, if it's really a problem, and it's got to be hard to not talk to somebody when you're quarantined together.
Yeah, yeah.
Has she tried coughing around her mother? That would probably get her some personal space.
You think that would get her some space? Oh, you know what? You make a good point, though. It's got to suck, right? It sucks for us. It's got to suck for a retiree who's worked their entire life, right? They got freedom. They finally get to do what they want. My mother-in-law likes to go to bingo Mondays and Fridays. They can't do that. It's got to suck, right? Greg, what do you think about all this?
My parents died years ago, so
okay.
I don't really have an issue at all. You know, I'm siding with the parents on this one, though. You know, maybe buy your stuff from Amazon. There is a pandemic going on, and it's exploding right now. And you might be safe, 25, but your parents aren't safe. You know.
Correct.
So I don't know. My advice is to be a responsible citizen and stop listening to the Trump administration.
There you go.
Yeah, nothing funny about that.
Nothing.
This is the advice.
Yep.
Don't go to the mall. Don't go to the mall.
That's right. Don't go to the mall. Johnny, what do you think? What do you say to
that? Mistake number one: telling your mother where you're going. I remember my mom used to ask me. My father, I used to grab the keys to the family car. They go, "Where you going?" I'm like, "You don't want to know."
Right. Not for you. Yeah.
It's not for public consumption.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Look, we know this is a horrible decision to go out, right? So it's a tough place to be when you're 25 because you know that, you're probably going to be okay. You're probably going to be able to fight whatever, but you have to look outside yourself and go, what if I bring something home and I end up, infected? Yeah.
Well, if you're 25, look, people are restless. Young people are restless, and they should be smoking marijuana. That's my opinion. At this point, I think everybody should be smoking fucking weed. Again with the cursing. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Listen.
But you know what I mean. Do what you got to do to get through this pandemic. But don't kill your parents. That's
right.
And if I was I would change the will. And leave everything to your brother, and then that would be like a small measuring stick, to keep her at bay.
Yeah.
You can go out and kill me, but you're not going to get anything.
Nothing. Right.
Well, I hope she sorts it out because if she's 25 years old and she's in New Jersey, she's going to be living at home for probably another 15, 20 years. So you don't want this hanging over you.
It's very conservative, Joe.
Yeah. There's been entire albums written about that, hasn't there? But in Jersey, yeah, that's a good point. So there you go, Shelley, in Short Hills. I got two stay-at-homes. One, maybe it'll be taken out of her will, and Greg just says smoke a lot of pot. That's basically the answer.
Apparently they legalized it in New Jersey, right, Greg?
Oh, yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Did they really?
Oh, yeah.
This country's so divided, I had to actually block my weed dealer on Facebook.
Right.
It was like Sophie's Choice. It was such a hard decision. And then I was panicking because I was like, how am I going to find weed in the middle of a pandemic? And then I went for a walk. Every 20 feet, I smelled weed. First guy I asked had a hookup in my building. He's like, come with me, introduce me to my own doorman. That's how easy it was to find marijuana in New York City during a pandemic.
Yeah, it's easier and easier right now.
Yeah, New Jersey's the perfect place to legalize it. I mean, it is the Garden State. That's where.
Good point. That's a good point. A lot of growers. There's going to be a lot of growers out here.
That's where
together.
That's a good point.
Eggplants.
That's where I start to wonder if the masks are as effective as a physical barrier. When you have your mask on and you walk around, you're like, man, someone's got the stickiest out there. This is nasty.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know how big the molecules are, but not a lot of
smell. If
you can smell the weed, you could probably get coronavirus.
That's what I'm assuming. Yeah.
You need a better mask. Yeah.
Well, I was wearing a hockey mask, so it was probably the wrong choice.
Different. Yeah, that's different. Yeah. The holes. Oh, good job, guys. That was great. I think we did really well. Shelley, I hope that helped you out. Let's help our next guest here, our next problem. Bucky from Reno. My sister has a mole. It angers me. Plus, I find it very distracting. I've offered to pay her for her to remove it, but she laughs it off like I'm joking. I'm not joking. I need it gone. Sister has a mole. Bucky's sister has a mole. Bucky would like to remove it. The sister doesn't mind it. Gregg, you ever, well, let's start with you. Have you ever had an unsightly anything where you had to remove it other than the obvious stuff?
Well, first of all, are you banging your sister? Because why do you care if your sister has a mole? You know what I mean? If you're banging your sister, I totally get it. But
right.
Other than that, leave her alone. I have plenty of unsightly things. It's none of your business. Your sister's mole. Unless you're banging her. Again, if you're banging her, I totally understand.
Then it is your business. That's correct. Johnny, you ever had to deal with that in anybody, in your mate or in yourself?
Well, two things come to mind. Number one, if your name is Bucky, you're in the witness protection program.
Right.
Okay. And number two, why would you want your sister to be better looking than you and get the mole removed?
Good point.
So,
good point. Yeah.
Leave it alone and let her future ex-husband pay for it.
Another good point. That's true. Yeah. Why is it your business? Yeah, leave it. Leave her to be the ugly duckling.
Some moles are beautiful. I mean, some women have
famously, Cindy Crawford, right?
Yeah,
Madonna had a beautiful mole there. Yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't touch a thing if that was the case.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Melania Trump's a Russian mole.
That's a good point. Wow. That you went a long way from
but I didn't curse, and I think I should get props for that.
For the amount that you drove for that
joke.
Yeah.
Thank you for keeping it political, Joe. What do you think? What do you think of the moles there, Joe?
Well, I think the good news is they're in Nevada, where she can do a drive-through divorce and actually divorce the mole. There's not much paperwork.
Is that possible?
It's legal. They're crazy out there.
Okay.
Here's the thing with moles. As someone who had 2 Italian grandmothers, I know about those moles. Sometimes they go so deep into it's like a dowel. It goes deep into the head, and it goes so deep it comes out on another Italian grandmother. It goes through a time-space continuum. So you can't just get it. You can't just get it plucked out.
Right.
Right.
But it's a process. There's a process involved.
It's a journey, and I think I agree with Johnny and Gregg also that anybody who's looking at their sister thinking, if it weren't for that mole, she'd be perfect. Now we've identified the larger issue.
Right. We know why his name is Bucky. So you went Italian mole. So you're including the hair, right? Like, because there's moles and then there's hairy moles, right?
Yeah.
It's not all
like
moles.
A head.
Right. Like a chia pet, sort of just right. I know that mole, and that's a different mole than like the Cindy Crawford mole that we were saying.
Yeah.
If it starts to jut out.
Yeah, it's not like, you wouldn't call it a beauty mark. It's more like a partially absorbed twin that you sort of sucked in the womb, and then that's the remainder of it. If you can put a ball cap on it, it's not good.
Right. A second scalp is not what we're looking for. We're looking for just the beauty marks. Right. Got it. All right, Bucky. So there you go. Bucky, it may just be a little mole. You leave it alone. Let your sister have the mole. If it's a hairy mole, it's a whole other conversation. Then it's a process, according to Joe. You got to go through the process, and that's a longer process. So either way, it sounds like you're stuck with the mole, Bucky. And you're also stuck with that crappy name.
Next time, use your real name.
Yeah, exactly. Good job, everybody. Way to go. We took care of the mole. Let's move on. What else we got? Oh, Leo from Rochester. Marriage is a death sentence. Oh, man. Anyone who doesn't agree is delusional or in denial. Anyone thinking about it, I beg you, don't. Unfortunately, during the current climate, I can't afford to get divorced. Any suggestions? Oh, this is interesting. Okay. So, Johnny, you are married, correct?
100%.
Yeah. Happy married? Good married, right?
Very much so, yeah.
Okay. So let's assume, Johnny, this question is not for you, right? Let's assume you were not happily married during this pandemic. What do you say to Leo here? Can't afford to get divorced. What do you do?
Well, I went to college outside of Rochester, so he's got more problems than his marriage. Um, um, it was. I'm only kidding. It was a great experience for me. You know, I mean, the pandemic. If you had problems with your marriage, and then the pandemic came, the pandemic is like putting a mirror in front of your face. Everything becomes so apparent and so visible that if your marriage survives this pandemic, it was meant to be, and if it doesn't, you know, then you guys didn't have the goods. I mean, I think everybody's finding that out.
Yeah, for sure. I would say that this is like it's like everybody's drunk, right? It's exacerbated your normal personality, and now you're really seeing who you are. I think right? You're really finding out who you are, and you're finding out who the heck you live with, whether it be roommates, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, family, cousins, mom, mother-in-laws. We're starting to really figure out what the hell we're in for the rest of our lives. You agree with that, Greg?
Well, you know, with this guy, if he's really that unhappy, him, I would recommend going to the mall.
Right.
With the 25-year-old?
Right.
Yeah, why not?
And picking something up and bringing it home is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Right. That's a good point. You guys have heard this. I don't know if you've heard this. Now, I'm Italian. DeVito, I'm assuming you're Italian. I'm definitely assuming the Goumba is Italian. You know what they're doing in Italy now? Husbands, true story, just out and out killing their wives. Like, right? You're hearing this, right? Like, it's not a one-time thing. This is happening across the country. You got to hand it to the Italians for, you know, just getting right to the point.
Well, the divorce rate in Italy is 75%, and the divorce rate in Japan is 1%. And you know what the difference is?
Tell me.
In Italy, you can move back with your mom. And they don't allow that in Japan. So.
Well, I think Leo needs to look on the bright side. Like you said, there's never been a better time to kill and eat your significant other if they're causing you a lot of problems. Because what are people going to say? Oh, we haven't seen Cheryl out and about. No one has seen anyone out and about. I mean, it's not only is it a good way to you know, deal with someone who maybe just doesn't know when to keep her mouth shut, but you know, you've got a good supply of protein, and you know, you can't have Amazon delivering these fresh food supplies.
Right.
So you know, if you know, look, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer.
No.
I'm not really much of anything, to tell you the truth. I'm Sagittarius, but I will tell Leo this: if you kill and eat your wife, just tell them I thought it was part of keto, and that no jury will convict you. It's very popular now.
It's a good point. It is a good time to get away with something now, right? Like you can do a lot of things right now, and people would go, COVID.
Well, you're also wearing a mask.
Joe, you just wrote an episode for CSI Rochester.
Absolutely. You could dump a body right now, and nobody would be looking for him, right? For a long time. You could have a missing person, and nobody would look for him. This is a good point you're making, Joe.
What are they going to do? Call the cops? I mean, come on.
Right.
Well, as long as you're wearing a mask, no one cares what you do.
Oh, there you go, Leo. I think we solved your problem here. I think you know, we've pretty much said we realize that it's exacerbating everything. Greg is saying go to the mall, bring something home. Joe's advocating cannibalism, and whatever it takes to get rid of the problem, I think is what we're saying. It's okay. You have an excuse now.
I like to call it recycling.
Right.
Yeah.
Very green.
Giving her a purpose. Right?
Joe, you're single, right?
Yes, I am. As a matter of fact.
Recently, though. He started the pandemic married.
Yeah. Single and full.
Yeah, you got a little barbecue sauce.
Great stuff. Very nice, guys. Let's go to the next one.
Joe is so funny.
Oh God, he is funny. He should become a comedian. Let's go to Gretchen, Boca Raton. Wow. Okay, the yellow light is to slow down and proceed with caution, not speed up. Oh boy, Gretchen. I almost made a citizen's arrest today. This low-life, scum-sucking excuse for a person cut me off trying to make the light and spilled my, I'm assuming Gretchen means latte and not spilled my late, People like this should be thrown in jail. Am I right? Well, Gretchen, it's no wonder you're Floridian, that you want everybody to drive slowly. That was one of the unbelievable things I hated about living in Florida. But we'll start with Joe. You ever been to Florida, Joe?
I have. I think Florida is amazing. I think what I like about them is that you never read about news out of Florida and think, good thing that happened.
Right. No. Well, I'll do you one better. You never read about bad news anywhere where it doesn't have some relation to Florida.
I know, Florida.
Story. It's always connected.
It's really just
Google. If you Google a Florida man, just type in Florida man. Yes. Every hit will be some guy bit off somebody's face or some guy gets sick with an alligator. I mean, you Google that with any date, any date.
Yeah,
no, it's true.
Well, Florida headlines is pretty much just the words crystal meth, alligator, and Walmart in a different order for each.
And a trailer hurricane, right? Yes. Nobody leaves their trailers in the hurricane. I'm staying
an amazing
home.
State. I'm so glad we always have them decide our presidential elections. But for Gretchen, if you're Gretchen in Boca Raton, that may not be a typo. It may not be latte. It may actually have been her late husband's ashes that she was driving around. She didn't want to spill Saul's remains. Saul means son for the Florida people.
Yes, it does.
I think if you're Gretchen in Boca Raton, I understand why the people around you are driving quickly because they don't have much time left.
Yeah.
So let them enjoy the few moments they have, and don't be such a stick in the mud.
Yeah, Joe, Florida's the only place where I've ever seen people drive with their nose on the windshield.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like a prescription windshield.
Yeah, yes, that's right. They really want to see where they're going. Yeah, mm-hmm. Their nose gets there first. Mm. What do you do about slow drivers, the fast drivers, when you want to drive because sometimes you get into that slow lane, right? And you're driving, you think you're doing pretty good, and then you always have somebody that's riding you. Do you have a problem with that? Do you get road rage, Greg? Do you get road rage?
Do I get road rage?
Yeah.
Yes.
I know you get road rage. What do you do when you get road rage?
My road rage is so bad. I just a couple of weeks ago, I'm sitting at a red light. The guy's sitting in front of me, and the light turns green. He's still just sitting there. You know what I mean? So I slammed on the horn, move it, and then the guy behind me slams on his horn, and I'm like, relax. So that's how bad my road rage is.
Yeah. Florida's a special kind though, because it's tough, right? And this happened to me so many times in Florida where I would be behind somebody and you're just in a rage. You're cursing them out. Get out of the way. You finally move and you go to pass them and you want to say something really bad and you look over, 90-year-old poor little grandma.
Well, that's the thing. There's only two drivers on the road in Florida. Either they're old or they're drunk, and there's not really that much in between. You know what I mean?
And always a recipe for success on the roads. 90 and drunk. Tough one. Leo, right? Did I forget the name? Was it Leo? No.
Was
it Leo?
This is Gretchen.
That's right. Gretchen, thank you. Yes,
no, but
Gretchen.
there's a lot of Leos in Florida.
Leo's the cannibal.
There are. That's right. Leo's the cannibal. Gretchen, I think you just have to grin and bear it. Maybe, I don't know, try driving a little faster. Right? I mean, don't drive so slow. Don't let people cut you off. Don't get upset about it. Drive a little faster. Maybe it'll help everybody else. That's all we got for you. Next. What else we got? Oh, Eric in New York. I like hot girls, but I am not rich. I also don't have a job now, and I have gained a lot of weight lately. It's over for me, isn't it? Johnny, fat, jobless, poor. What do you say?
Well, I think he answers his own question.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know what I can add to that. Except Eric, I think you know yourself, and that's a good thing.
Yes. Yeah. He's definitely got himself figured out. Maybe he went to one of those Tony Robbins seminars.
I mean, he hasn't overestimated himself.
Right.
He knows where he is, who he is, and that's a good thing. That's healthy. Look, this is my rule in life: lower the bar, and then you'll get and then eventually you'll get over it.
Right.
I mean, I know guys who used to go. Well, I used to go out to nightclubs with my friends, and some of them would shoot for the moon and go for the hottest girl in the place, and work their way down. And
but
that's
not you, right? Not
I'm
you.
sorry?
You didn't do that. You didn't do that.
No, I didn't do that at all.
Yeah. You don't want to try to overachieve, right? It sounds like Eric's like, look, I know who I am. I'm just doing status quo. Like I'm good. But I think when you do that, Gregg, I think you just you have to accept the consequences.
I disagree with all of that. Actually.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I think if you should work on yourself a little bit, a little self-improvement. You know what I mean? If you want to accept that you're fat and you're never going to get laid, then that's on you. You know what I mean? I mean, there's nothing funny about that, but lift some weights, get yourself a little Tony Robbins or something. I don't know, or do what you got to do to make your life better. Again, I don't have anything funny there.
No.
I just find it. I got a little sad reading that. You know what I mean? This is just a guy who's just given up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think you've had 9 months to pick up some weights, and you know what I mean. You've had 9 months. You might have another 9 months. We don't know how this is going.
True.
So I advise you right now to work on yourself now that you have the time. You're not working. Start working out. You know what I mean?
To his defense, though, Gregg, it is a lot easier in this last 9 months to get food than it has been to get weights. I don't know if you tried to buy workout equipment in the last. There's nobody's carrying any weights. You can't buy weights anywhere. That being said, over to you, Joe.
Well, I think Eric is not painting the complete picture here because I'm going to go out on a limb and guess also bad breath. I don't know if you mentioned bad breath is probably on that list.
But you're probably right. Yeah.
I agree with Gregg. Get the weights. Work on yourself. There's going to be two kinds of people who come out of this pandemic. There's going to be people who use the time effectively and people who let the time use them. You don't want to be in that second batch there. I got ahead of it. I bought a weight set 9 months ago. I bought a squat rack, still in the box, but I made the effort. That's the point. So,
and you carried the box into the house, presumably, right?
I gave the kid a couple of bucks. Sure. I mean, it wasn't without some personal cost. Here's what I would say. I would say I have had my bouts with depression and so forth, and I found that it kind of lifted once I saw the rest of the world was going to hell in a handbasket. I would have felt much worse if it was just me who didn't have any work and no social life. So, I say ride it. If we're all going to hell, enjoy the trip. It's not just you, Eric.
Right. And you know what? You make a good point, Joe. Commonality is a wonderful thing to discover, right? When you think you're the only one going through this, I'm the only loser, and all of a sudden you're doing a show like this and you realize there's another loser. There's a lot of losers out there, and it's okay.
It's not like
I
other
don't think
people
loser
are out.
is the right word. Loser is not
He's
the
struggling.
right word.
Well, hold on a second.
And most of all, hot girls are overrated.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're making a good point.
Well,
now
also,
you're making a good point.
you can always find someone with low self-esteem. There are plenty of beautiful women with low self-esteem that you can abuse and then eat.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I love that. Thank you for making me feel bad for calling him a loser. But your comment, perfectly acceptable. Thank you.
Here's what's gotten me through is if you're worried about not getting laid, Corona's perfect for that. Because think of all the women at some point in your life that when you said, would you want to have sex with me? They said, I'd rather die. Now it's like, well.
Right. But I heard, and I'm sure you guys did too, I hear that the dating scene has actually been okay during COVID, that there are more people are getting together to hook up. This is like
it's funny. I am a hypochondriac, but I still refuse to wear a condom. So that's where this is going,
Even in a pandemic.
I just can't help it. I can't help it.
Yeah.
Well, the CDC actually put out guidelines. For real, the CDC said if you're single and you hook up with someone and you're having sex, wear a mask. And I read that and I thought, oh, been there. But there are people still hooking up, which to me is amazing. I mean, that's commitment, whether you like it.
Joe, a lemon mask is not what they're talking about.
That's right. That's right.
I know, you bring out the GIMP and it's not up to code, unfortunately.
And I heard that the sex is still going strong in the old age homes too. Huge. Still, like venereal disease is going rampant still. So you got to hand it to people are dedicated, man.
Hey,
you can't stand the way of love.
Anything that keeps those people off the roads is fine with me.
Right, exactly. Good stuff, boys. Good stuff. Let's see what else we got. Oh, long one. Ray in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I have a girlfriend who's pretty damn awesome. Well, look at that. Nice of you, Ray. However, there is one thing that I notice which bothers me. When she introduces me to people outside our circle, it's always as Steve, not my boyfriend. Wait a second. Steve? I thought your name was Ray. That's even worse. I guess that's supposed to be Steve from Tulsa. It's always as Steve, not my boyfriend, Steve. I don't want to bring it up because it could be nothing, but also be something. What do you think? Okay, this is interesting. All right, so I'm assuming his name is Steve. There was a typo there. All right, so you're dating a girl, Joe. You're dating a girl.
Mm-hmm.
When she brings you out in public to meet anybody, family, friends, she says, this is Joe. She doesn't say, this is my boyfriend, Joe. What do you do about that?
I would be much happier than Ray that at least she's getting my name right.
Right.
I think we found the problem here. Oh, Stevie Ray. And that's the name Stevie Ray.
It could be. Or, yeah.
How deep into the relationship can you get with someone before you have to tell them what your name actually is? There's got to that has to be a very early threshold before you have to go. I hate. It's a
listening issue. It's a communication issue. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
I bet you she could tell. She knows his email address.
Right.
Yeah, that's for sure. She probably knows his password and so forth. But yeah, that is weird. I never really thought about needing to be introduced with the title of boyfriend. I'm usually on the other end of that, where I'm talking to a woman and then she lets me know that she has a boyfriend.
Right.
And it's some strange moment where, she'll say, oh, I say, could you pass the peanuts? And they say, well, my boyfriend enjoys peanuts. And you say, I'm just sitting next to you at a bar. I don't need to know if you have a boyfriend.
Right.
So
right.
I don't have good feelings about Steve's relationship.
Steve's problems. Yeah. Oh man. Greg, you ever? What's your relationship status over there, Greg? What are you? Are you single?
Yeah. Right now I am currently single.
Yeah. You had issues with the dating? Do you ever have a woman, the non-committal, that maybe wants to keep you as a?
I'm insane at this point. Like infidelity to me, actually, I'm attracted to infidelity. Like the last girl I dated, I actually kind of wanted her to cheat. I know it's crazy, but it's true. Like, people pretend they're with somebody else in bed. I pretend I'm somebody else. So yeah, I'm probably the wrong person to ask. To me, this just sounds like a semantics issue. You know what I mean? I mean, like Joe said, you need the title boyfriend. You're coming off a little needy, to be honest with you. I think you keep pressing that issue, and she's gonna be gone. So I think I really think you're just being a little needy here, and you should just let that go.
I agree on that one. As a married man, Johnny, do you like to hear, "This is my husband"? Do you like to hear that title when you're?
Well, I hope so. I mean, put a lot of effort into it. But as far as the boyfriend and girlfriend is concerned, if that happened to me, that would signal to me that that girl is keeping her options open. This is the guy I'm with, and I'm with him. But if something better comes along, I'm gone. And that's what it sounds like to me.
Wow.
Yeah, I find that attractive. I really do.
Greg, you make me wish I wasn't married. I would scoop you right up.
I was going the opposite of you, Johnny. I was thinking, you know what? She's bringing you out, right? Like, you're with her. She's introducing you. Like, she's including you. It's not like she's ignoring you. I figured maybe.
You listen to me. You got to think like a girl.
Oh.
Not like a guy.
Gotcha.
Women are very territorial when it comes to their boyfriends, their husbands, and they want other women to know exactly who they're with and what the relationship is. They're talking to other women in the room.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's philosopher level right there. That was wow.
I think he should be more worried if he's introduced as, "This is my boyfriend, what's his face?"
Right.
Red flag. Red flag.
Right. This is my boyfriend, wrong name. Yeah, good point. All right, this is good. That was good perspective, boys. Nice job. Very good. Let's move it on. What else we got out there? Joey. Tampa. Joey from Tampa. My wife is still finding new ways to blow my money during a pandemic.
Keep it clean.
I swear there was a pregnant pause there. I swear I despise Amazon every damn day. Packages and packages. I can't take it. The wife is blowing Joey's money during the pandemic, bringing a lot of the Amazon packages. Johnny, you're married. I don't know what your wife does for a living. Like me, she's probably more successful than you are. What do you do? Who's the spendthrift in the relationship between the two of you?
Oddly enough, I have the spending problem. It's in reverse in my marriage, and my wife is constantly yelling at me that I'm spending too much money on anything. And I have to tell you, since the advent of Amazon, our house every day is like Christmas. Like a package comes, and it's like, it's exciting, and like you think like somebody gave you a gift, and then you're like, hey, wait a minute, I bought this.
Right.
You know what I mean? I paid for this. This is no gift. You know what I mean? So
it's really incredible.
I have the spending problem. My wife controls all the finances. I have no idea how much money we have. And it's better off that way, because if she told me we were doing good, I'd probably go to a casino.
Yeah, listen, I think that's actually a very sort of relief if you didn't have to worry about money. Like, I wish that I didn't have to concern myself with it, and somebody else could take care of it, and every once in a while I could just push a button and have stuff sent to my house. I would like that. I think you're in a good position there, Johnny.
Yeah,
kudos to you, my friend.
I'm bad with money. My wife's good with money, and we identified that early in the relationship, and I just washed my hands of it.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you, Joey. What do you say to this guy what do you say to him for problems with the wife? What do you do?
It's amazing. I mean, I know every morning I open my door and I see all those Amazon packages in the hallway, and I can't thank my neighbors enough. Because here's what he could do is start ordering his own packages from places like Ammunition Depot, Machete Warehouse, Discount Noose, and just as long as they're clearly labeled.
Wait, what was the last one?
It's Noose Discounters.
Noose Discounters.
It's if you want to hang someone, but you don't want to spend a lot of money.
Spend the money, right?
So
right.
I think that's what she needs to see, because it's true. That's the amazing thing about Amazon, especially with Prime. It's amazing how quickly you can think of something, and then it is at your door. It is really scary. So I think what Joey needs to do is, he's got to cut her off from Amazon. I don't know how he's going to be able to do that, but as long as she's got an internet connection, he's going to have this problem.
Agreed. Greg, what do you say?
Well, first of all, I'm not an Amazon user. I've gotten some counterfeit stuff from Amazon over the past.
Really?
During the toilet paper shortage, I bought toilet paper through Amazon. It came from China, and it turned out to just be a box of dead cats.
Oh wow!
I thought you were going to say it was recycled.
They don't.
I bought shampoo from Amazon, and it turned out I don't know what the hell it was, but it wasn't shampoo. So that kind of turned. So now I only buy stuff directly from the manufacturer, and I'm also old school. Like anything that costs a lot of money, I need to go to a store and actually look at it and hold it. That's just. Again, I'm old, and I'm just not comfortable with buying stuff. The only thing I really buy from Amazon now are books. But anything that costs real money, pandemic or no pandemic, I'm gonna go and actually buy it from a real place, and then if I have any issues, I'll go back and deal with it that way. I'm still uncomfortable with the whole online thing, and again, I'm old. I don't know.
But did you have to rinse? Did you have to rinse and wash the dead cat after each use, or what did you do? How did that work?
The thing. Yeah, you want to go with a live cat because they're self-cleaning.
Right, they clean themselves. That's a good point. It's like recycling. Very nice. Yeah. Yeah, you know, Amazon's changed the world, right? Like you would have never thought 15 years ago, or even maybe not even that long ago, where you just have an impulse, like where you had to get into a car and actually drive, right, to the store, take out your wallet. You curbed yourself from buying a lot of the stuff. Now it's just like you're constantly window shopping.
I think it's bad because you don't appreciate it. When you have to make the effort to go get something, you actually appreciate it. I think that's
right.
the problem with all of this. You know, I believe the internet, it's just ruining people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what else is also addictive is and if you shop on Amazon, you'll know this. You buy something, right? And then it'll say people who bought this frequently bought this, and you go, oh shit, well, I gotta get that. I mean, I want to be, you know, why didn't I think of that? And before you know it, there's a rabbit hole you can go in there where you didn't need half of the other things at all, but they're related to that.
You know, it's amazing that even listening to you guys discuss this, the first thing that's popping to my mind is I should reorder those carob peanuts from Amazon that I really
Right.
like. So it's like as soon as you hear it, like it's terrible, but I really could go for some of that stuff just showing up at my door while I sit in here turning into Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, and this has become even obviously through the pandemic. Now more people have gotten addicted to it. Maybe even people that didn't use it before are now on it, and they've just ballooned the amount.
What else
of people
can you look forward to?
Right, that's right.
And thank God for Amazon during the pandemic.
Yeah, you know what, Johnny? Thank God for Amazon. Good point.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff Bezos.
A lot of people who can't go out and shop, and you know, I mean, they're pigeonholed, and they you know, in a dyslexic way, they do a great service.
Yeah.
But you don't have to use Amazon. You can go right to the manufacturer. You know what I mean? And,
that's true. That's true. Some you can. Some don't have their shit together. Pardon my language. Like you can order from Walmart, right? You can order from Best Buy, but there are other things you can't. They don't have their online stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they'll take 5 weeks to send you something. Where Amazon Prime, boom, next day, you know,
the height of my day,
dead cat in 24 hours.
Right?
You know, no. When you ordered the dead cat, did you track your package?
Those are conveniences. That's a convenience you don't get.
That is fun when you stalk your package. Have you ever been looking at the Amazon app? Like it's in the neighborhood, it's getting close.
Yeah, for
I know,
sure.
That's what I said it, Joe. It's so funny.
For sure.
There's some things that Gregg's right that it's better to I have to go. I'm shopping for a mattress and people tell me to buy one off Amazon. I don't trust it. I went to Bob's Discount Furniture because I had to try out that mattress, and they gave me a hard time. They said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Look, I don't know where you pee, but I've got to make sure that this is the right mattress for me."
Right. You want an absorbent one.
You gotta buy. You can't buy a mattress online or
no.
It's like dating online. You know what I mean? You have no idea if somebody was lying on top of it.
That's right. That's right.
If you go to mattresses online, they all say the same thing. That it was great, but these foam mattresses, they compress it, and then when you open it up, it expands like the bread in I Love Lucy. If you remember that.
Yes.
And
yes.
they all say the same thing. It's great.
You really went I Love Lucy. Okay. All right,
but they all say the same thing. It releases like a cloud of toxic gas when it does that. So everyone is like, "Oh, the mattress was great, but we had to leave our house for a couple of weeks." But other than that, I think that's pretty big. Other than that,
I have read warnings where they say open it outside, like not mattresses in general, but things where they say, you know, open it if it's first time you're opening it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can't open your mattress outside, though.
No, you can't do the mattress outside.
That's how do you get it inside? I mean, come on.
That's a good point.
I'll tell you, Greg, I miss the bookstores.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Blockbuster used to be a night out. You know what I mean? Just browsing through those all the different categories. I mean, it was. You know what I mean? It's having something right at your fingertips is not good. It's not.
No,
good.
We're losing. I was talking to somebody about this. We're losing the event experience of things, right? Things used to be an event, right? And if you can go back as old as you want, you can go back to the drive-in malt shops and all that. It used to be an event. You'd go and it was an experience. We're losing all of that now because we get right to the product. We don't do any of the legwork.
Like during the pandemic now, because nothing's really in theaters anymore. Like any movie now that they advertise, if it then you see, oh, it's on demand on FiOS right now, then I just assume it sucks. I mean, we've been naturally conditioned to believe if it's coming straight to me before being in a theater, it can't possibly be good.
Right.
Yeah, it was the one they didn't want to put any money into the promotions of, so they're like, all right, we'll just send it right to VOD. We'll send it right to the streaming service. Yeah, it's a good point.
Over budget.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I think we got time for one more before we sign off here. Penny, St. Paul, Minnesota. Penny, whatever, oh, look at this. Whatever happened to the good old movies with singing, dancing, and happy endings? Everything is so violent these days. I know I sound like an old fart who is not with the times, but I feel like sometimes life replicates art, and today's films are giving lunatics ideas. Am I wrong? Penny from St. Paul, Minnesota, thinks the movies are too violent. Joe, you were advocating ammunitions and discount noose. Do you think the movies are too violent? Do you miss the musicals like the back in the day, the Fred Astaire,
Well, if Penny was ever looking to 3 comics to bitch about young people doing things she doesn't like, she's got the right 3 guys here.
Right.
I'm with you. I hate young people so much now. Now that I'm older, I switch sides. Like, even the movies I watched when I was young, when I watch Footloose now, I'm like, they should have never let those kids have that dance. I'm with John Lithgow on this.
You're with the Reverend?
I'm with the Reverend. Come on. Kevin Bacon, he's doing gymnastics in an empty warehouse to the Pointer Sisters. I don't want my daughter exposed to that. So I don't know if you need to go back to musicals and things like that, but I think the movies are more the reflection of the culture than the other way around. I mean, if you recall, I was not, only about a year ago where they were trying to tell us that people are going to go crazy and at screenings of The Joker. They told us the Joker was going to make people go nuts. And, now you watch the rioting scenes in Joker and you actually just become critical because it's not realistic enough.
Yeah, they could have done it much better than that.
Yeah, I have to say, I always liked gory movies and monster movies and stuff like that. And in a crazy world like this, I enjoy watching something. I get a lot of cat videos to help balance out my mood. I recommend that.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's always a reflection, right? It's like when things are really great, the escapism always tends to be the horror movie or the something else. When things are really bad, we want the feel-good movie. We want the Christmas movie. We want the holiday movie. It's a good point. Yeah, we kind of balance each other out with the entertainment that we choose. You agree with that, Greg?
Well, I only like my happy endings in a massage parlor.
Right.
I'm not a musical guy. I never really liked musicals. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't think movies are. I think I agree with Joe. I think it's a reflection of us, but I don't really think people are influenced by. Well, then again, I'm going to stop right there because I think what the Trump administration has proven is that millions of people are easily influenced. So you know what? I'm going to switch sides now and say, you're right. We need more musicals and a lot less violence. And certainly a lot more reading because Jesus Christ, what has happened to this country?
Well, Greg, I think as middle-aged single guys, if the word gets out that we're home watching musicals, we're going to have a lot of explaining to do.
Hey, you had me at middle-aged.
Johnny, what do you think of that? Do you think the movies are? What do you like the musicals, Johnny? You like the little?
The musicals are there. I mean, I grew up with Grease, so I mean, just rent a copy of Grease. Flash dancers, whatever you want. They're still the movies are still there. You could find them. I mean, we live in a different time now where you could actually choose what you watch instead of having to, depend on a movie theater. So the options are there.
And I have to say, I mean, look, I think movies do influence us. I don't know anybody that watched, like, I'm going back now, right? But when I got out of the theater after watching Rocky as an Italian. I think we all thought, we were like, yeah, we could go out, we could take I think we watched Saturday Night Fever, you think you could dance, right? Like, there's certain movies.
Yeah, there's a musical coming out for the holidays. It's called The COVID Christmas Carol. And,
is that right?
Is that true?
Yeah, there's a lot of dancing in that, so maybe.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. No one answers the door when they show up, though.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Joe, you.
Just keep knocking.
The ghosts show up and nobody comes to the door. It's like,
I knew Joe would make that better.
that is actually a very funny take on that movie.
Yeah.
The ghost of Christmas Past shows up and he can't get through the door.
Yeah.
That's great.
And fingers crossed, the ghost of Christmas Future is Rudy Giuliani.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
Too political.
Wow.
Did I go political? I worked clean.
You did work clean. We'll give you clean. You didn't stay away from the politics, but you did go clean the rest of the time. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
This is the happiest I've seen Gregg in 20 years.
There's no better sign of robust health than a drip of shoe polish coming down the side of your head during the press conference.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Well,
then
him
is
with COVID is frightening because that speech impediment is definitely producing aerosols. You know what I mean? Like he could take out a small village with the word preposterous. Anybody in spitting distance of that maniacal lisp better get checked out ASAP.
God.
What was the question?
Exactly. Yes. How the movies are affecting our lives.
I don't think Gregg heard the question.
Yeah, I kind of veered off a little bit.
Well, it's obviously political. It's very political. Well, look, guys, we did an amazing job. I'm very proud of us. I couldn't be prouder. I couldn't be more proud of the work that we did tonight. Before we go, I know there's.
You could delete it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very easy not to put it up on the internet. Let's talk about careers here. Let's start with what do we got going on? What are we hoping? What's the future hold? Where can we get a hold of you? Where can we know what's happening? Let's start with Mr. Politics. Gregg, what's going on with you? Give me your details.
Yeah, is this a real question?
Yes, this is
you know exactly what's going on with all of us.
Right
We're
now.
all stuck in a.
Right.
No, I almost cursed.
But not right now. But when things get back to normal, if I want to know where Gregg is gonna be, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna. I'll be back working these city clubs. I've written. I got like an hour and a half of new material that I've been working on.
Right.
And what I do is I run them on these Zoom shows. If you've ever done any of these Zoom comedy shows, it's basically like 10 comedians and no audience, and nobody's paying attention. But you do get to prepare material and run it, which is actually pretty helpful. So that's what I've been doing. I've just, when we all get back to working again, I will have all this new material. So I think what any of us. The best way to deal with this whole pandemic is to be productive any way you can every day, and even if it's just a small victory, just little victories every day will get you through it. You can't, you have to be productive, or you're gonna go insane.
I'll give you a clap for that one, Gregg. Way to go, Gregg. Way to bring it back around. Way to make up for all the obscenities and political humor. You even got a heart from Joe. Look at that. Johnny, what do you got happening? What's going on? Where can we find you later?
You can find me on Instagram, at Goumba Johnny, usual stuff. I'm going to be one of 6 people that are taking part in an intervention for Gregg.
Okay, good, yeah.
We're all going to wear masks and come over.
It's because we care, Gregg. It's because we care.
I just want to say this. I want to leave everybody with this. If anybody puts hand sanitizer or a mask in my Christmas stocking, I'm just going to start swinging. Okay? I want everybody to know. I don't care who's behind me. You're getting knocked out.
You heard it here first.
It's not a Christmas gift.
You're getting a right hook from Goumba Johnny if that happens. Joe, what's going on with you? Where can we find you?
You can find me probably within an 8-foot radius of where I'm sitting right now. And look, I'm going to be honest. If we've just helped one person tonight, it's probably aiming too high for that one person.
Yeah, one person's going to eat his wife. That's what's
Yes, I've made a difference. You can find me at Joe DeVito Comedy on social media. One thing I would like, it's going to be a plug and a half. One thing that has been kind of a rare positive through this time is that I did a special for Dry Bar Comedy last year In the summertime, they put the special up on Facebook and YouTube. It now has close to 4 million total views, and the response has been it's been fun. It's been touching to me because I've been, kind of, we miss performing, and to have people saying, "Hey, really enjoyed it," and hearing from people. So I hope people check that out on YouTube. And while you're there, our friend Goumba Johnny over there just had his special start to go up. So
Yeah.
it's fun.
Look
So
at that.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Joe,
like
I
Greg
saw
said,
yours.
like stay busy, stay productive, and give yourself some little rituals, because if you don't, it becomes a rough slog. So a little bit each day, and then God willing, we will come out of this and we'll look back and it'll be something that we'll say someday, oh, remember that weird time? Well, we're here and we're better off for it.
That's right. That's right. Very good. Thank you for that cross plug for Johnny. That was nice. Very nice. You guys are all sweethearts. Very funny guys. Check them out when things open up again. Thank you guys so much for watching another week of the Comedy Doctors. We will see you next week. I'm your host, Frank Licari. Thank you so much, everybody. Good night.
Las Vegas, here we come.
Good to see you guys.